The Industrial Revolution brought about capitalism, which favored businesses, a less regulated supply and demand market with less government involvement and regulation, known as a laissez-faire system. It also catered to people who wanted to prove their worth in society. The flip side of this was socialism, which allowed social rights that the lower class favored, as well as the government taking an active position in the economy.
I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. Buy all of the things I never had.
By preferring the support of domestic to that of foreign industry, man intends only his own security, and by directing that industry in such a manner as its produce may be of the greatest value, he intends only his own gain, and he is in this, as in many other cases, led by an invisible hand to promote an end which was no part of his intention. Smith's invisible hand, to quote, reveals his ideal economy. By defending free market capitalism, Smith denounced the previous economic system, mercantilism, which supported government intervention. Since the laissez-faire prevented most government interventions, the wealthy middle class were able to increase their profits with less effort, which greatly increased the appeal of the laissez-faire. Even duty-free trade with foreign countries was allowed because of the doctrine meaning that imports were not charged. Women and children also had more opportunities for jobs because factory owners had the right to hire whoever they wanted. The poor factory work conditions were indeed terrible. Children worked 12-hour days while adults worked about 14. The machinery which they used was positively dangerous, and at one go could potentially kill someone. And lastly, since employers did not have to worry about the minimum pay for their employees, they could pay ridiculously low wages and no health care. However, these terrible conditions were only overshadowed by the living conditions. As industrialization brought more people into the area, overpopulation occurred. Raw sewage was tossed in the streets. People drink water contaminated with this sewage. An entire family would live in one room. Though a capitalist economy was beneficial for the wealthy middle class, the negative impact it had on the poor prompted ideas such as positivism and utopian socialism.
Feel it coming in the air. Hear the screams from everywhere. I'm addicted to the thrill.
I'm ready.
It's a dangerous night.
The Industrial Revolution not only triggered political transformations, but ideological ideas of social mobility as well. Through the revolution, the middle and lower class strove to create a better life for themselves. One of the most prominent ideas that rose was the philosophy of utopian socialism. This idea was created by a man known as Charles Fourier. Charles Fourier, a French thinker, idealized a society in which workers would work in a much less labored environment. Fourier described workers in workshops with music, food, and wine to lighten the hardships. Fourier's ideas may not have been completely successful, but they inspired others to attempt at creating other utopian ideologies as well. For one, Englishman Robert Owen, a cotton manufacturer, attempted to create an industry that provided amenities for workers. Managing the mill at New Lanark, Owen improved housing, added schools, and created a church for the laborers. He also fought against child labor and horrible working conditions, which brought several reforms. As Owen once said, quote, "You may depend upon it that they are as good hearts to serve men in palaces as in cottages." Overall, the Industrial Revolution allowed a myriad of new utopian socialism ideas to arise, and inspired the middle and working class to improve upon their lifestyles. Favoring communism throughout the 19th century, Karl Marx arose as a figure of intelligence in the industrial community. He preached that capital was derived from the hard work of the common man, as well as the exploitations of his working rights. In response to opposing political figures, he said that in a bourgeoisie society, the average living person is completely dependent on their wealthy employers, who take advantage of them at every turn. In 1848, he wrote his world-famous and politically influential Communist Manifesto that described the problems with capitalism and what possible solutions he supported. He wanted to abolish private property and private banking, and create a national bank, abolish private businesses and put them in the hands of the government, and put forth a high income tax, and begin free public education. He also passionately argued against religion and child labor. His writings encouraged violent revolution at the hands of the working class. His teachings were later practiced in the Soviet Union during the 20th century.